Hello, wonderful families. My name is Jack Fariss. I will be your student's physical science teacher this year. If they're in SOAR, that likely means that I am partnering with Miss Lephart, who I think also made her own video for this. So a little bit about me. I got married this past year, which is really exciting. So back in June, I got to marry my wonderful wife, Caitlin. This is our picture with my dad's side of the family. So this is my dad and Teresa. I also have, fun fact this year, they're finally in 9th grade. I have 14-year-old twin brothers. I am 6 foot, so that might give you a little bit of a sense. Will's about 6'3", pushing 6'4". Ben's about 6'2". They attend over Totino Grace. And so I'm really looking forward to students being able to say they beat my brothers in something this year. Because they're very active in baseball, football, basketball. And this is my grandma who lives out in Pittsburgh. On my mom's side, growing up in Brainerd, I just have some family that, I think we all have those people that are like your other parents, right? This is my mom, lives up in Brainerd with her boyfriend, Randy. And then this is my brother, Jason. And you'll notice more twins. So I have twin nieces, Charlie and Lily, which terrifies Caitlin and I from having children because her mom's also a twin. All that good stuff. This is my wife, Caitlin. She's fine. More importantly, everybody loves the dogs more. So we have Bailey and Melody. They're wonderful. So much fun. And then I have a ton of different hobbies. So I love Harry Potter. I actually will talk to students about video games because I also play video games with them. We're really into playing board games with friends. I do a volleyball league. I like to say I like golf, but does anybody really? You just go out and get mad. And then continuing on into SOAR. Please note, you have probably already talked with Miss Williamson. She is amazing. She is our lifeline here for this program. She's been here for 4 years. She does all of the registration for our SOAR program, helps students with anything. She is wonderful. So if you ever need help with anything at the high school, reach out to her. She loves spending time with her dog. Who doesn't? Dogs are amazing. But get a chance to meet her. She's going to be everyone's best friend. So what is the SOAR program? Super common question that we get when students are enrolled for SOL versus what we'll say is mainstream physical science. Please note, I teach both courses. I've taught the mainstream physical science course for 7 years. I've taught SOAR physical science as well for 4 years, usually teaching both concurrently. So the first thing that I want to clarify is I know the mainstream program and I make sure that students leave fully ready to go on. I would never send a student on that isn't ready. And in fact, a lot of times I feel sometimes more confident in my SOAR students moving on the mainstream because of the benefits that the program offers. And I'm very lucky to be able to teach in this. So one of the greatest advantages is, like I said, I partner with Miss Lephart, amazing English teacher. And so there's just so many advantages of having 2 teachers in the same room. I get to do small group stuff with students. Students have a tough day. We can do one-on-one. I can push them even further because we have that extra person in the room, right? So if they got something down, we're going to try and push them that extra step. Alternative learning methods. So a simple one might be that I do is mainstream. We'll sometimes go 2 to 3 weeks between tests. It's a lot of content. So what I'll do is I might test students every week and a half, right? So they're getting the same content, but I'm just not going to give them one super long test. They just might get it as 2 shorter ones. Or we might do something where instead of a general set of notes, we do it in the form of learning by doing a lab. So I really try and bring in some of those other ways to teach, and Ms. Lephart does the same thing. We really do our best to get more in-class work time. Now, sometimes it's where do you magically get this time? I would say the best way to do it is I do my best to cut out some things that I can feel are redundant. So sometimes instead of doing a note and then a labs and then assignment and then a Cornell notes all related to the same topic, I might do 3 of those 4, right? That's sufficient for students to still get their learning. So sometimes we get the more in-class time work doing that, or maybe I'll just shorten up a lab somehow, give a little bit more directions versus letting students go and try and figure it out. More interdisciplinary connection. So this is going to be really trying to have students see the relationship between English and science. More flexibility. We're really flexible with students. That might just be, ensuring that if they need extra time to get work done, they get that extra time. They have a ton of support, and I'll talk about that later on. And then we do also teach top 20, which is what I really feel everything should focus on. And top 20 is going to be a focus on those like soft skills, social skills, professional skills is what I like to call them, right? Those skills that every single person, no matter what career you need to be successful. That's a big focus of what we try and work on with students. So what is physical science specifically? Sorry, I know my video keeps covering stuff up here. So physical science is going to be focused on science skills and how to do problem solving, introduction to chemistry, as well as introduction to physics. I should flip these. We're going to do physics first this time, but that's all right. So introduction to physics is going to be motion, forces, energy. Electricity varies. That's why it says tentative. Sometimes we do it in physics, sometimes in chem. It just kind of depends on how time is working out. And then introduction chemistry, we get to learn about the periodic table and atoms and reactions. English 9 reading, Miss Lockhart should also have a video on this, but a focus on reading, writing, and speaking. Class expectations. So these were actually designed by our students. We do this day one. Your students in this fall of 2021 class already made these norms. I don't need to read all of them out, but we always have students choose what they feel are the most valuable norms and expectations that we can have to help them learn. So these were the norms that were really put together by the students. Sorry, I had that backwards. I had these slides incorrect. The previous 6 were from Ms. Lockhart and I. These are the ones that students came up with individually and then with their small group. And we do our best to honor these. Grading for science is going to look like this. Everything's going to be done on a 4-3-2-1 rubric. It's going to be a bit different than how Ms. Lockhart does it. Please note that. We both have our different reasons. Neither is right nor wrong. They're just different ways of doing it. A 4 for me basically means you had everything correct, or if you had a small mistake, I already followed up with you on it, right? You demonstrated that full mastery. 3 means you need a few corrections. 2 means you need to come talk to me, like you have significant corrections or you just didn't answer questions, and I'll always try and follow up with students on that. And then if you submitted a 1, which is, I almost never have 1s, you really like put your name on it, maybe answer a couple questions, but we really need to work on it. Then I just follow your typical grading scale, right? 4 out of 4 is 100%, 3 out of 4 is 75%, so on. Please note, students always have the I never take off points for late work. Ultimately, I want them to demonstrate mastery to me, right? Grades should reflect what they know. And then they can also retake summative assessments. So they, no, that doesn't mean that they don't have put in work to do it. I'm going to make sure that they can know something. But ultimately, I don't want to discontinue the learning, right? If they can later do something, I think their grades should reflect that because they continued working towards it. Here's a daily schedule. Please note, it's changed since last year, and I love this new schedule. Every block is exactly 80 minutes, and then students do have 30 minutes of our time every day. It's essentially a study hall, homeroom, whatever you want to call it, but we can request students to come to our room during that time. So students have half an hour built into every single day that they can work on homework, on labs, on group work, anything like that. If you have any questions about the new schedule, please feel free to ask. And then here's the support services I talked about earlier. So again, there's the R time in there, 30 minutes every single day. We are going to have academic mentors. I always request to have one in every one of my classes. So they're 11th and 12th grade students that want to help other students out. We usually have one in class that can just go around and just be a good role model for students and help answer questions. If your student has a 504 IEP, we do have the ARC where students can go for alternative learning. Alternative testing area. They can have tests read to them, anything like that. Similar options room. If student is ever having a hard time, feel free to reach out. We do have counselors. We have social workers who are amazing resources. Those are available. You can just type in Wayzata counselors. It'll show up. And then students can always come meet with Ms. Lockhart or myself. We always try and be available to students as well. For 9th grade, especially, we do love to show families that there is the full list of sports that you can that students can sign up as well. So same thing, you can just Google Wayzata Sports and you can find the full list available, as well as a list of clubs and activities. I always love to show this because that's one of the best things about Wayzata. When you have 3,800 students, there's a group for everything. We have a Pokemon trading one. We obviously have all of your really common ones. We have like Model UN for students interested in anything related to politics. We have clubs for I think there's a table tennis one that's starting up. There's badminton going. Like, we have everything, and it's awesome. So you can find a club that you're interested in or your student is interested in. If you ever have questions, please reach out to us, grace.lephart@wayzataschools.org or jack.farris@wayzataschools.org, and you can see our phone numbers there as well. If you would like, you can also get signed up for our Remind, which is essentially allows you to text us. But it keeps phone numbers hidden. We do this with students as well. I don't want students to have my number. They don't want me to have theirs. Same thing. Please just open up if you would like. You can send a text to the phone number 81010, and then simply as your message put @Fariss21. And then you can also text me if that's easier for you than emailing. Otherwise, I'm always emailing all day as well. I think that is everything. So welcome to Wayzata High School. If it's your first student coming through, or if it's a return, welcome back. I did also want to take a second to show you the Canvas page that your student is utilizing. So I always have a weekly calendar set up here, so you can see what they're doing on a week-to-week basis. Some people like this. Otherwise, if you go under modules, you could even see week 2, here's what we're doing each day. On Monday, today we did this lab. Tomorrow, we're going to do another lab as well as a practice quiz, and so on. And so that's just going to be labeled under modules. I'll tell you what week it is and what the title is. You can even see what week 1 was. So I think that is everything I would normally put into a introduction to the course. Again, my name is Jack Fariss. If you ever have questions, please reach out. I know we're going to talk at some point this year, and I'm going to do my best to reach out to each of you. But so far, these first few days, it's an amazing class. We're going to have a really good time. So thank you all, and I look forward to working with you.